We got Jalen and Jacoby and Vince Carter ready to go. Let's start with this. The battle between Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell ended last night with the Nuggets beating the Jazz by a deuce in Game 7. Murray scored 17. Mitchell scored 22. It was a wild finish. Nuggets will face the Clippers in Game 1 of the next series tomorrow night. Meanwhile, the Celtics take a 2-0 lead in their series with Toronto with a 3-point win. Celtics were down 8 in the fourth. Marcus Smart went nuts. Scored 16 straight points for Boston. Helped them get the win. Jason Tatum would finish with 34. Meanwhile, after a 15-point fourth quarter by Chris Paul on Monday night, the Thunder and the Rockets have to play a winner-or-go-home Game 7 tonight. Listen to Stephen A. Smith talking about what happens if the Rockets should lose tonight's game.
There is no way in hell that Mike D'Antoni will remain as the head coach of the Houston Rockets if they lose Game 7. You let go of Chris Paul. You trade him to Oklahoma City. You think he's done. You've upgraded to Russell Westbrook, and you go into a Game 7 with James Harden not having dissipated in any way, still the superstar offensive player that he is, and you can't get out of the first round. You lose to Oklahoma City? Chris Paul, yes. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari? Really? That's why you go home? It will be over for Mike D'Antoni as head coach of the Houston Rockets if they lose this game. You can book it.
I could watch that all day long. And I could talk to these guys all day long. There they are. Jalen and Jacoby are ready to go, and the great Vince Carter here as well. VC, we talked about this earlier. Jalen, let me get your thoughts. What is at stake for the Rockets tonight?
Stephen A. is right, and for those closely affiliated with the league, it's almost feeling like stating the obvious. Mike D'Antoni has proven to be one of the better coaches in the NBA. He's mastered playing small ball, whether it's having Tucker at the center, you move Capella, now Russ is the guy that basically plays up front and gives you those paint points. But you can't have an MVP candidate in James Harden, Russell Westbrook, who you bring in, who recently won MVP, and then get bounced to Oklahoma City. The team that you traded Chris Paul to, he left that part out. And you see James Harden, Greeny, you see that arrow? Yeah. I've been talking about this VC the last couple of years. When he don't have the ball, he ain't cutting, he ain't moving, he ain't screening. And yeah, we're gonna show Russ throw the ball out of bounds a couple of times. Mm-hmm. But you know what else I saw Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell do? Go get the ball when it got tight. So I agree with Stephen A. If they don't win, this will cost Mike D'Antoni his job.
But that's just the beginning of it, right, Vince? What else? This could look like a referendum on small ball and to some degree on James Harden as well. What do you think?
A little bit of both. I mean, they're having success with small ball. They had success with small ball. Right now, it's of question. But I agree with Jalen, and I agree with Stephen A. Well, first of all, James Harden is your go-to guy. He's proven. He's playing extremely well. Go get the ball. But at the same time, Westbrook was out 2 weeks. And we know, Jalen, you know this as well, it's not that easy to come back and just be in rhythm. And they putting the ball in his hands late in the game, his meaning Westbrook, late in the game. And that's tough. And he's a different beast. Don't get me wrong. Westbrook's a different beast. But right now, you give him a chance to get back into the game. You see he's struggling. I put the ball in James Harden's hands. If anything, I put Westbrook, give Westbrook the ball, let him set up, and get James Harden the ball on the second side with a live dribble. And nobody can stop him one-on-one. But right now, like you said, Jalen, you look at those two clips. He's walking away. He's standing there. It's an easy guard, and it can't be that way tonight, or that whole thing's gonna blow up over there.
Well, David, we all know James Harden's history in the postseason. Will it be fair if they lose tonight if most of it comes down on him?
No, it won't be. And there's so much at stake for this franchise because not just D'Antoni, there's also Daryl Morey, who is the person that traded Chris Paul and brought in Russell Westbrook, who is the person that traded Clint Capella to double down on small ball. But we have a little bit of recency bias here. Let's not forget Game 5. Does everybody remember Game 5? I don't remember the second half because I stopped watching because the Rockets were up by like 45 points. I really feel like it's fun to discuss what would happen if they lose tonight, but are any of us really expecting them to lose tonight? Because I certainly am not.
I'm not either, but I wasn't expecting this one to go 7 to begin with. When they were up 2 games to none, I thought this was going to be a short series. All right, next order of business. We had a very good conversation about this earlier. Jalen, I'm dying to hear your thoughts on it. This was Giannis after a Game 1 loss to Miami in which Jimmy Butler scored 40 points. You will hear the question and the answer.
Did you ask Bud to take Jimmy late?
To guard him?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Why would you ask that?
Is that something you want to do going forward?
No, I'll do whatever coach tells me to do.
Jalen, he says, didn't even enter his mind to say, I want to go get Jimmy Butler. Defensive Player of the Year. What do you think, Jay?
My high school coach, Perry Watson, used to always tell us, don't pay me lip service. I can't hear what you're saying because your actions are so loud. I can't hear what you're saying because your actions are so loud. And I agree, Greek Freak is at the press conference saying all of the right things, falling on the sword for his team and for his coach. But watch the next game. And I guarantee you, Jimmy Butler starts to get going, he will be checking him. We can't come on television, and me in particular, somebody that voted for the Greek Freak last year to win Defensive Player of the Year. I voted for Anthony Davis to win it this year. But say he played 5 positions, and then all of a sudden the guy on the other team get 40 points and a career high in the playoffs, and he don't go try to shut it down. I anticipate moving forward that that's going to happen.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.